Hello, October newsletter. It's me and Haley, our other hair crafter.
Hi.
So for this month, our tip is going to be, just helpful ways to use NewWash to cleanse your hair. Moving away from bubbles and into a cream cleanser like NewWash is so much better for the fabric of your hair, but also there can be some learning curve with using something that doesn't just create a bubble mountain to move everything around for you. So we're going to do a little bit. So our first step here is literally just soaking the hair as much as we can, which is a punishment for Haley right now because to preserve this amazing neon orange, we need to use cold water. So that's another thing to be mindful for everyone who does have brightly colored hair that they got done. So next up is we're going to apply some NewWash, and a big question I get asked is, what is an appropriate amount? It's going to change head by head and also the length of hair. So this may be a vague answer, but for someone with shorter hair, it could be anywhere, say just that much, if you have very short hair. So while I'm not using a perfect set measurement here, what I would say for Haley's hair seems appropriate is, I would say this is about the amount of like 2 hefty quarter sizes. And I'm emulsifying in between my hands, and I'm just kind of lightly applying around the scalp, because that's where I'm going to focus my cleanse in. And if you feel like it's not moving around, and I would say like I've applied, but I know that like this isn't enough to really just like move everywhere, I'm just gonna drizzle in just a little bit of water. And when you're at home, that can just be literally dunking your head under the shower for, just like 5 to 10 seconds. From there, you just want to massage around. You can think of it a lot like oil cleansing on a face where fat attracts fat. And we're just trying to get all those molecules linked up so that way they can rinse away together. If Haley had a hair type where each strand was a little bit thicker or possibly a higher density, then if they needed to use a little bit more, they absolutely could. I think a big thing to think about is just marrying it with a little bit of extra water to it, seeing if that helps you get a little bit more slip. And if you feel like now you've watered it down a lot, and while maybe it's moving through your hair, you're not feeling like there's enough of the creaminess to it, then I would say add more NewWash. But continue marrying NewWash and water until you really feel everything just gliding around. So we did a lot of gliding, massage around the scalp. That's how we know that we basically did the shampoo part of it, where the scalp is really clean now. So now we're gonna focus on conditioning the ends. So to do that, I'm taking this much more NewWash, and like I said, depending on the type of hair you have, how thick each strand is, how dense is it all over your head, might alter the amount, and including length too. So emulsifying that in really well. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get Haley's curls coaxed out. So we're actually just gonna scrunch in. And we're gonna scrunch everywhere. And then, like before, I'm gonna drizzle a little bit more water in. And re-scrunch. At this point, you can leave everything in your hair and make rinsing your hair the last thing you do in the shower. That way, your hair has plenty of time to soak in the conditioning properties of NewWash, and you're just giving yourself a little mini treatment. For rinsing, we're focusing on using our fingertips at the scalp and not doing too much raking through the hair. And with the fingertips at the scalp, it's just letting me know by touch that I can feel that the NewWash is rinsing away. And while I'm not trying to really disturb the fabric of the hair too much, I am using my fingers as I'm like still scrubbing the scalp as I'm rinsing, which is just going to ensure that I have no residue left behind. So we finished rinsing out the scalp. I think everything feels pretty good and nice and squeaky clean. So from here, what I'm doing is I'm gently gathering Hailey's ends and giving them a scrunch up towards her head because I'm trying to coax out more of the curl and I'm not trying to squeeze out all of the hydration. Even with straight hair, I think this is a good approach. It will just give you a better air dry than when you do something where you're like squeegeeing or raking through your hair. As I go to dry Hailey's hair, a huge one that I want everyone to think about is when you're drying your hair, gentle towel blotting. No rubbing around. It's really going to disturb how your hair dries. It's going to make it fuzzier, frizz out. If you have curly hair, really disrupt the curl pattern. Even for straight hair, it's just not being nice to your hair. So we're just going to do gentle towel blotting and gently blot the ends. Hope this gives you some help with NewWash and yeah, leaving bubbles behind. We'll see you next month.